Hey guys, David here, founder of Flywheel Fulfillment. We're here at one of our facilities. We call this our dynamic facility. You'll see in a while what that means. You can see we're in the middle of receiving a container from China, 40-footer. You'll see kind of the stockpile that happens on the inside of this one. This facility is a little smaller than a lot of our others simply because we have office space on the front and a dynamic center on the back. Let's go inside. I'll show you the unscripted view of Flywheel Fulfillment. Come on in. So you'll notice everything in here revolves very strongly around the flywheel analogy. We truly believe in this analogy. It permeates everything that we do, everything that we talk about with our customers as well as our employees internally. We live and die by this flywheel analogy. You can see here on the wall, large industrial flywheel from way back in the day. This is something that we'll talk about in a little while. This really stands at the core of who we are. Right in front of that, you'll see we have an industrial table, piece of art that we commissioned. This stands for our customer. This is an engine block. This is who our customer is. We're not the engine of our customer's business. When our customer comes to us, they bring us their engine. They are the engine. We're just simply the guys that attach to the engine as a flywheel to help them in any way that we can. We're not the hero in this story. The customer is the hero. The customer is bringing us their engine. We simply attach to it to try to improve like any other flywheel. You'll notice lots of flywheels around here. There's varying sizes and degrees. We really believe in this flywheel analogy. Everything we do tries to revolve around this curve and this momentum and trying to help customers keep their momentum going through our actions as a company. Again, we're not the engine, we're not the driver, the customer is the driver. We are as a flywheel trying to help that. If you're unfamiliar with what a flywheel is, just a really quick introduction. You've got it in another one of our videos. But a flywheel is just a simple wheel that attaches to an engine. All of the energy of that engine pushes through that flywheel. The flywheel gathers the energy in the engine. So when an engine needs to shift up or shift down, or as a company, if your company takes torpedo and the engine turns off, if you have the proper flywheel on your engine, that kinetic energy that's stored in the flywheel will help that engine maintain solid and smooth transitions. So if you need to shift up as a company, you need to shift down as a company, or heaven forbid, you take on some water, that energy is there stored for you, and that's what we act as. We're not here to say, you've got to do this, you've got to do that. A flywheel engages like a clutch. You engage with us exactly how you need. You need one service that we offer and nothing else, that's fantastic, and we're okay with that. If you need everything that we offer, that's great. We have some really cool custom programs, one that we call a white label product. We help people private label. We have our own private labels, lots of them. We are fairly successful on Amazon and other marketplaces, Walmart, Jet, and a lot of them. So we have built all of this stuff for ourselves, and what we're trying to do is make that available for everyone. And instead of saying, hey, you have to do this when you engage with us, we're very much about you and your comfort level. You are the star of the show. It's your engine. You're the one creating the value. We simply stand on the outside and you engage with us how you need in order to help your engine perform better. Let's take a look upstairs. Upstairs is more of a fun place for us. There's a lot of kids involved in Flywheel. We don't put them to work. We're not all about the sweat factories and all of that. We all have a lot of kids, and we believe one of our core values here is having fun. And so you'll see some boxes up here. We've stockpiled some really big boxes for a while so that our kids could come and build their own city up here. You're in the middle of the city. We haven't finished the city. We don't do it. We just turn the kids loose and let them kind of do what they're going to do. Here's one of our conference rooms. This is more of a strategy room. As you come in here, you can see some of the strategies that we have running right now, some of the things that we're working on to help improve our company so that as you engage with us, it helps your company even more. We have lots of meetings up here. It's a really fun place to be. It's a lot warmer in the winter because it's on the second level. It's also a place where we really like to bring people around what we're doing. We have a conference room downstairs. You've seen some of the videos from down there. It's kind of a general meeting room. This is one where it's kind of the meeting of the minds. It's super quiet up here. You don't get any of the warehouse noise. That's on the other side. This is kind of a meeting and a strategy room for us. Out here you'll see this is our mezzanine area. This is the city that the kids built this last weekend. We were here on Saturday. We could show you the inside of these. They're hilarious. The kids got inside and drew computers and TVs on the wall. They cut out their own little remote controls. It's kind of fun. You can see their fingerprints all over everything. We have a projector and karaoke machine and Wii and all stuff for the kids. We like to have as much fun with our kids as we can here. We don't really believe in the whole work-life balance. Our kids are here sometimes when we're here working. We're usually here on the weekends with our kids. We really try to be deliberate about how we live our life, as well as how we're helping our customers. But we're not a big work-life balance company. We're not trying to say when you go home, you're home. When you're here, you're here. We have kids running around up here all the time. Our kids come in and help with projects. We do a lot of intertwined learning. Our kids know a lot about, profit and analysis and revenue and all of that. Our kids invoice us sometimes for stuff. It's kind of fun. Let's give you a peek into the warehouse. We'll walk down and we'll do a tour of the warehouse. Should have turned the lights on. You'll see a very dark peek into the warehouse, actually. I forgot to kick the lights on. Sorry, guys. This is a very unscripted video. This is a quick peek into the warehouse. We'll head downstairs and kick the lights on so that you can see inside. Just a nice little upper level view. This is where we receive the containers on that end, and then a lot of the processing and order processing happens on the other side. So we'll head downstairs and take a look down there. We have one more room up here that is generally our daily deal site room, where we're running a lot of daily deal inventory through. It's on the other side of this mezzanine. When we run something on a woot.com or a jane.com, it doesn't really make sense to keep out in the Dynamic Center. The Dynamic Center is really there for our long-term storage, anything we can break down. Here's more for our really quick moving inventory. We'll bring stuff up through this door and we'll stack it deep here, run a sale for 3, 4, 5 days, and then clear it all out in one fell swoop. So it's not taking up space in the warehouse for things that really matter for the long-term inventory. This is just a flash sale. Someone runs a lightning deal, or we want to run on a deal site for 5 days. We'll run a deal and then we'll put all of the inventory up in here until it needs to go, and then we'll pump it all out in a couple of days through the fulfillment center. So we'll head back downstairs. We'll take a look at our warehouse, take a look at some of the offices, so you can see a day in the life of the Flywheel Dynamic Warehouse. We do have other warehouses. They're static warehouses. They don't show as nice as this one, so we kind of chose the place that looks a little bit nicer to show you. The static warehouses are just big, ugly warehouses where we stack it deep. That's where we keep a lot of long-term inventory. It's where we keep traditional 3PL type stuff, stuff that goes on pallets and ships out in pallets. You can see our break room in here. When you guys come to visit us, this is where you'll get your drinks and your food. And all the rest of these offices are pretty standard. It's these 2 rooms here at the end that are probably the most exciting and are the funnest to talk about. Let's talk about this one real quick. This one is the office where we take lots and lots of product photography. So if you're familiar with trying to shoot a white background picture for any sort of e-commerce, it can be fairly difficult. Really, it's just time consuming. You try to get a boom set up or take natural lighting outside, snap pictures, whether with your phone or a DSLR or some other type of photo, and then you sit on Photoshop and you try to pull the background out of it. When we're launching dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of products, we have to automate that process as much as we can and try to save a bunch of time. So this is some patent pending hardware and software that allows us to take lots of product photography really quickly. The cool part about this is everything you see here is controlled by the computer. So I'll sit down at the computer and show you a few things, but you can see as you look at the computer, this is all a live view. So this is the white background that you'll see. Now the cool part about this software for us is we can take 360 shots all the way around, and you'll notice this table will start to turn. We'll be able to get 360 images all the way around. We can program it to take as many shots as we want. We'll go ahead and stop there. We can program it to take as many shots as we'd like. We can go all the way from 6 pictures up to 300 some odd pictures. on this thing. Allows us to get a lot of photos, and then at the very end we can stitch them all into a 360 video, something you see on walmart.com where you can grab and turn. We can do side to side, we can do them from the top and bottom, all in one 360 video. The other thing we can do that's really great is once they're all in this software, we can go in and edit them one by one. We can take them into the editing portion and pull out any sort of coloring that we don't like, contrast. You can see he's playing with the contrast here, get it to a point that we like, and it'll automatically save. We can play with our brightness until we get to the right thing that we like, tint, temperature. We can come down here on the actual color curve and we can play with this and say, okay, we really like that category 5 to be bright white. And so we're going to play with that until we get it to where we'd like. It's going to save that, and then we're going to come down and play with another aspect. And we're going to see that darkened area right here. We can bring a shadow in there if we want, or we can kick that shadow all the way out and see the reverse of that. Find a spot that we really, really like on that, make it look good. Then, as many pictures as we've taken, say we took a 300 picture view all the way around the outside, we can apply that to every single one of those images and push it across the board. This allows us to really scale our product photography side. That's why we're able to offer product photography to people for so incredibly cheap for white bound back photography. So it allows us to really get in and get it done quickly and get it done better than if we were to try to take it on our own with our smartphone and some combination of lighting. So let's take you over into my favorite room. We internally call this Quantico. We have a lot of controls on this room because we value the process that we have in here and everything that we're doing in this room. This is what we call our data processing room. We have individual computers in this room that all do specific tasks. So on this computer, we have a front-end software that we've built that allows for Amazon processing, Walmart processing, allows us to really dig into listings and find items that are high volume and low competition so that we can launch them very quickly. We take all of those, pop them over onto this computer. This computer we've built some very custom software to chew through an analysis of those items to make sure what we found on the front end software marries up with current trends based on a lot of different databases. So we're pulling on the front end, we get a signal, this says yes, no, we pull it over here, and then we're chewing through tons of databases, Jungle Scout, Unicorn Smasher, FBA Toolkit, every bit of data we can pull based on every single item, pulling it into this computer, and then we're cleaning it all up. Every one of those databases has their own biases. We're trying to remove those and get the data to speak one language, and then we're running it through our own biases of what makes our private label products sell really well. So there is bias in the data, it is our bias. However, we're trying to remove everything out of that before we push it through. Other removal techniques is trying to make sure there's no duplicates, making sure that things that are advertised aren't counted twice, making sure that if we're looking up, say, some kind of a sponge, we're looking for a specific bathroom sponge, that we're not getting 5 different types of sponge, like the sea salt sponge or the ones that remove foliated skin or all that fun stuff. We're looking at a specific type of sponge and we're removing everything that's not that so that we can see what our exact competition is on that item. Once we perceive that that item is good and the data that comes out of that says, hey, cool, we've got a great item, we take that report and we shove it over onto this computer. This computer interfaces with China. This is where our China team is receiving data from us. So as I've mentioned before, we have a full-fledged team in China, lots of boots on the ground, legal entity, all that fun stuff so that we can put performance-based contracts in China, in Chinese, with Chinese partners. So it's not us trying to negotiate through some listing service online and thinking we have some legal protection. This is where we take a look and we say, we're looking for a very specific type of sponge. And maybe that sponge comes with some type of soap or some other type of accessory. Maybe the softness or the porosity or something about that sponge needs to be unique. We're trying to go into those listings and say, what's really bad about this item? What's really good about this item? What needs to be included? What do people like to see? We're pulling all of the data we possibly can on that item, and then we're taking individual listings that show what we want, combining multiple different aspects of listings into one and communicating that out to China. That goes through this portal. You can see every one of the computers has a biometric fingerprint access. Only certain employees in our company have access to individual computers. Nobody really has access to all of them. It allows just for all of the value we're creating in this data to remain valuable for you. So in this interface with China, they're coming back with a price and saying, hey, we can get that for this price. Then we have to do an even heavier analysis on profitability and say, is this item profitable via ocean for a private label customer? Is it via air freight for a private label customer? Is it profitable via ocean for our white label customer? Is it profitable via air for our white label customer? That determines time frames, it determines where it's delivered, it determines all the supply chain mechanisms in between. We're doing all of that analysis before we end up with landscape report. This landscape report is chock full of data, but the value that's in it goes beyond the data. It goes in this whole process of the identification and pulling the data in, cleansing the data, creating what this is effectively known as, the landscape data, but then pushing it through to China, and then all of the value that we've added in China. You don't even see this report until after we've got it, done all of the analysis, and we know that this product, according to our data, is a good item to put on Amazon as far as sales potential, competition, profitability, etc. On this report, you're seeing all of the number of sellers that are on each one of these items, their delivery mechanisms, whether they're choosing to sell it themselves through FBA, whether they're selling directly to Amazon, what the price point is of each one of those items, BSR, bestseller ranking for each one, number of reviews on each one of the items, as well as what the average star rating is on each one of those reviews, and then the biased, how many per month, how many items per month, how much revenue per month. We're putting all of that down in here into the bottom of the report, where you see here the barriers to entry on this one are low because this item needs about 25 reviews to play in the middle of the top 10. Now these are the top 10 sellers of a very particular item on Amazon, and instead of us taking a $13,000 or $14,000 number and averaging it down here with a $600 in the top 10, we're not doing an average, we're doing a median, which means we're going to go to the middle of this report, find the middle number, which would be there, averaging on both sides of that number, so that you can say, if I were to play in the middle of the top 10 sellers of this particular item on Amazon, what are my barriers to entry as far as reviews go, as far as budget that I need to put in each month to keep this thing going, as far as what do I need to buy 3 or 4 months worth of inventory, and what is my expected median revenue on the middle of the top 10 per month, as well as how many units per month, per quarter, per year. It allows you to quickly determine a budget and figure out what kind of a product do I need to look at? What kind of a report do I need to look at? What item am I specifically looking for? We're never going to try to force you or do some sale with you anywhere. We have items ranging from, $5,000 a month up to $150,000, $200,000 a month. We can find what you need, and we're here for you, not the other way around. You're not coming to us to buy something off a shelf. We're doing all of this work, again, on the flywheel principle of we're here for you. Engage with us how you want, how you're comfortable. We're comfortable when you're comfortable. So let's move on from the data room and get really nerdy out in the warehouse. So this is, again, one of our warehouses. This is a dynamic location. I have to apologize in advance. We are receiving a 40-foot container right now, and so this is generally a lot more full than you'd see it. Everything you see here that goes all the way around the corner and out to the door, and then in this next middle portion, it's one 40-foot contaiter. So you can see what type of volume happens. This is one customer, this is 3 products, and it's only 3 months worth of inventory. On some of it, it's actually even less than that. This is one 40-foot container. It's not a traditional warehouse. The pallet racking looks traditional until you look and see all the custom shelving that we've built here. Generally, we'd show you all of the product on all the shelves. However, today we're just going to have to kind of squeeze, and you'll see some of it. So this is a barbecue line that we have. We have some office products, baby products, kitchen products. This is built as what we call a dynamic center. This isn't your traditional warehouse where you've got lots and lots of items stacked deep, and we're doing 3PL services, throwing labels on it and sending it pallets at a time. We have centers like that on the other side of the highway. Here though, this is our dynamic center. This is where we've broken this stuff down in so that we can take one item off of the shelf and fulfill it one at a time. So you get on Amazon, you start selling really, really well. You want to bring in items. This is an Amazon seller. They are $1 million seller on Amazon. They, as you can tell, sell kitchen stuff. They utilize us not only for optimization of some items, but also on the warehousing side. We warehouse 25% annually cheaper than Amazon's listed rates. We also fulfill 10% cheaper than Amazon's pick and pack fees. So these guys utilize us for omni-channel. These guys are on Amazon, Jet, Walmart, Wayfair, Overstock. These guys sell a lot of stuff, and they keep a lot of stuff with us. We're invoicing them monthly for their warehousing costs, and they're super happy about it because they're saving quite a bit on their warehousing. Now, we're not telling them to fulfill through us. They fulfill through Amazon, FBA. What it allows them to do is to put these items on a fulfillment by FBA, get their Prime sticker, but they can build out a lot more variation listings on these SKUs. What do I mean by that? Let's take this office product, for instance. This is an item that sells in like 15 different colors, 5 different pack sizes, meaning a 10-pack, 20-pack, 30-pack, 40-pack, 50-pack, and 2 different variations. There's a sticky variation and a magnetic variation. This item, instead of the seller having to send in hundreds of 10-packs, hundreds of 20-packs, hundreds of 50-packs, and down the line, they can now send in one size of one pack, like a 10-pack. They can send a bunch of those in, get a Prime sticker on it, create what's called a variation listing, where now you have your inside that listing of 10 packs, you have 20, 30, 40, 50 packs. We can fulfill on those here from this bulk inventory. So they only have to tie up a minimal amount of inventory to get Prime listed, to sell their hottest items on Amazon, but now they have more lines in the water on variations because they keep the bulk of the inventory here with us. They save money on warehousing, and then they're able to make more money when they make more sales off of the fact that when we get a 50 pack, we just go to the 50 pack color, pull 50 of them out, put them in a poly bag, and ship it out the door. And we do that less than 10% less than Amazon's pick and pack, which you'd already have to have these in 50 packs to do. So the other thing we're able to do is our barbecue line. This is very scant. It's January. It's right after Christmas. This stuff blew out. But if you take a look at these, there's about 10 SKUs here left over. If you're to look at the every unique possible combination you could do, putting this one with this one, this one with this one, this one with this one, and this one, there's 100,000 unique combinations you can do on just 10 items. What we can do is we can fulfill on lots and lots and lots and lots of those out of one location. So you don't have to tie up tons and tons and tons of inventory to do that. We can also allow you to operate on bulk savings. So let's say you're going to ship this item to a customer. This item sells for $26 on Amazon. This item sells for $14.99. So instead of adding these together and selling them for $41, we can ship them in the same box for you, multi-channel fulfilled across all lines of anywhere you want to fulfill on. We can now ship this thing pretty much the same price. This doesn't add a lot to the price when the box is this big. Now instead of selling this for $40, you could sell it to your customer for $35. You win because now you get both of these fulfilled. And the cool thing is it all came out of one facility, one pick pack fee, and you saved the customer money and you made more money than if you listed both of these separately and only got one sale from one customer. And it allows you to do that all the way across the board. We have some really impressive software that we've built on the back end. We have some software partnerships we have on the back end as well, to where we can now take any item in our warehouse, regardless of who it sells it, regardless of where it's at, put it in a box, scan the list, and it will automatically know exactly what's in the box. It will rate shop whatever's in the box to whatever the customer chose on a 3-day, 4-day, 5-day, 7-day delivery time frame against every single one of our partner negotiated carriers, UPS, USPS, FedEx, ensuring that you're always going to get the cheapest rate no matter what for all of your shipping needs. The coolest part about that is you can get as technical or as crazy as you want. You can put 100,000 combinations up, and if you sell out of that item, automatically, though, any listing that's created with that item will be pulled down so you can't oversell. It allows us to do some really phenomenal, great things for our customers. It also allows us to algorithmically track your sales. So let's say you sell this item, sells crazy well. We're pinging you from our system saying, hey, you really need to send more of that into Amazon. We can do that for you if you have inventory here. If you don't, wherever you're housing your inventory, we can ping that and say you need to send more inventory to Amazon. We can also say, hey, you need to order more of this from your Chinese supplier or your USA-based supplier. We can also automatically cut purchase orders for you or invoices for you if you want from the software. Our software is incredible. We can log into that at a different time and show you a video module on that, but we can give you access to that as well. Let's finish up looking inside the fulfillment center. See, we do Amazon pick and pack prep. We do Amazon bulk prep. We do wholesale prep. We do retail arbitrage prep. We line everything up there at the end of this line. All these rollers send these items down into the fulfillment center. Here is our modest fulfillment center. This is where all of the magic happens. It's all happening on a very, very high processor computer here. So we take the pick cart, we run out, pick all the items, put them onto you got some pick slips here, put these in our pick bins, run out, pick the orders, bring them back in, scan the list, automatically goes to work, rate shops whatever has been picked, make sure the QC QA is there, make sure every item's in there, there's not too much of one item, not enough of another. We have the ability by item to send a different packing slip to them, which allows you to put up custom instructions based on every single item. So every item that's scanned can have a custom instruction list in it automatically going out to your customer. So if you have something that requires a setup or you have something that requires a warning, no matter what's picked, that information's automatically transferred and it's printed out as well. Scanned, our system goes to work, rate shopping everything against UPS, USPS, FedEx, everything. Spits out automatically the cheapest label. We slap it in whatever box makes the most sense to get it out the door. Line everything up here at the end of the day. Door pops up, UPS, FedEx, USPS comes and picks it up, and you're off to the bank with all of your stuff. So that's the fulfillment center. That is the tour of Flywheel. We'll walk out back to the main room. In another one of our videos, you've seen our conference room, our downstairs conference room. You've seen the other video with the cool little engine and how it works. And that is us, guys. That's the very unscripted tour of Flywheel. So thank you for being patient with us as we kind of walk you through without having a professionally scripted out model. We really appreciate it, and we look forward to bringing you into the Flywheel family soon.